It's good to be back. All right, good to be back at Led By and good to see people coming from different parts of the country. As Asba mentioned, my name is Manzar. I am a Chevening Scholar from the 21-22 cohort. I am currently working with Oxford Internet Institute as one of the research project manager for their research. And yeah, so today we'll be talking about Chevening and most importantly, Chevening essays. As now some of you might already know that Chevening scholarships will open on 5th of August. And unlike every year, this time it will not be open for 3 months. It will only be up till October. So I would suggest start preparing as soon as possible. Let me try and share my screen. Can someone confirm if they can see this?
Yes.
Perfect, great. All right, I'll walk you through basics of Chevening. I'll talk about what is the eligibility criteria, how you calculate your work experience, and then we'll deep dive into the 4 essays that you need to submit by October 5th, most likely. And then we can briefly touch base upon the interview process, and then we can have Q&As. And if you have any doubts, I would, as Asba already mentioned, you can list it in the chat and then we'll have discussion in the end. And again, please keep yourself on mute. It's easier for everyone. Great. So today's outline, we talk about Chevening end to end. We look at the timeline, rough timeline of the scholarship. We are yet to get the official timeline, but based on previous year's timeline, we can just give a tentative timeline around it. What exactly are the essays and how you can approach them, and a section on references or letter of recommendations, and then we can take questions from the audience. All right, what exactly is Chevening Scholarship? First thing first, it's supported by the UK government in partnership with more than 160 countries globally. So India is also one of the partners, and many have asked this, but please be sure it's only for master's degree in the UK. Master's degree means something which is between 9 months to 12 months long, nothing beyond 12 months. कोई भी कोर्स 1 साल से ज्यादा का होगा तो वो eligible नहीं होगा. How can you know if your course is eligible or not? When you go to Chevening's website, there's something called as course finder. Okay, you can find list of courses that are being supported or sponsored by Chevening, and there's a proper list for that. Okay, so please, before you even start preparing for your Chevening essays, you'll have to make sure that this is eligible course under the scholarship. Any course which is between 9 months to 12 months long, nothing beyond that, is eligible for the master's scholarship. What exactly Chevening covers? One, tuition fee. The entire tuition fee is covered by Chevening, except MBA. MBA has a cap of, if I'm not wrong, £22,000 or £23,000. So if in case you are planning to do an MBA and if you still want to apply for Chevening, if in case you get it, Chevening will only give you £22,000 for MBA. However, for other courses, there is no cap as such. Even if your course is going to cost 43 or £50,000, they will cover that. They will be giving you a monthly stipend. At this moment, for the latest cohort, London, if there's a university in London, you get around £1,600. And if you are in any other city, it varies from 1,200 to £1,300, okay, which is enough to survive and stay and pay your stipend and pay your rent, etc. They will be giving you airfare, so from India to UK, back and forth, so they can cover that as well. They will cover your visa cost, health surcharge, your TB test cost. All of this is covered by Chevening. Once you arrive, they will be giving you an allowance to buy some basic necessary items. And once you depart, they also give you some small amount. I remember when I had arrived, they had given £500. I'm not sure what's the exact amount now, but obviously it's more than that. And then if you have to attend any travel, any Chevening event, for example, it's an orientation or let's say a farewell event, for that also they will be giving you an amount. So they will cover that cost as well. So this is largely what they cover in a nutshell. Now, how exactly they look at the eligibility criteria? So to begin with, you have to be a citizen of Chevening eligible country. If in case you don't have a passport, please get it prepared before you start applying for all of this, because that's mandatory. Chevening has this rule that you have to return to your home country for at least 2 years after your scholarship has ended. Now, many ask if this is mandatory or not. Yes, it is mandatory. There's no loophole around it, unless and until you lie or you cheat. But that again, that's on you. But Chevening is very strict about this criteria of you have to return back to your home country after your course has completed. Okay. So let's say your course ends in September 23. So from September 23 till September 25, you have to be in India. So that's the rule. After that, you can go wherever you want. You should have at least 2 years of work experience. That roughly sums up to 2,800 hours. How exactly we calculate work experience, I can talk about that in the further slides. You should be having an undergraduate degree. So when you are applying for the scholarship, let's say in before October, you should have already finished your undergraduate degree. So it shouldn't be the case that you are finishing a course in December and then you're applying for the application scholarship application in October. You're not eligible for that, and then you'll have to apply to three different courses. So it can be in the same university, three courses, different university, different courses, but three. And by the time it's July next year, so let's say if you start the process now, you fill your applications, you submit your LORs, everything by February. Let's say you get a call for the interview, you sit for the interview in March, April, and June, you will get the outcome. Sometime around mid-July, you should have at least one unconditional offer from any of the three choice of courses you have mentioned. So please be mindful of this. You don't need to apply for courses now. You just need to mention the name of courses. But whatever you have mentioned, you should have at least offers from any one of them. Sorry. Now, work experience. How exactly we count work experience for Chevening? As mentioned previously, you should have at least 2 years of work experience. That should sum up to 2,800 hours. Now, this includes full-time, part-time, voluntary work, unpaid internships, paid internships. So you can count all of this. If in case you were a secretary of your society in your college, so, or let's say you were vice president, or you had led a festival, or if you have led any event where you had played a major role, you can count that, but don't rely heavily on that. If you have interned where pro bono as well, that can also be counted. Okay, so they don't need to specifically be from full-time work, so you can still bring that. Now, another caveat here is if, as part of your curriculum, if fieldwork was that fieldwork was embedded in your curriculum, then you cannot count that. So let's say when I was doing my master's from TES Mumbai, social work, they had a component of fieldwork every once or twice a week. So that component, that number of hours spent on the fieldwork, I cannot count because that was part of my curriculum. That was part of my coursework. Okay, so please be mindful of this. When you'll be filling your application in the portal, I'm not sure how exactly the portal looks now. Um, when you'll be filling your application, they will be asking you your employer, your job title, what was the date of employment, what was your role exactly. So when I was filling the application, there was no option to upload your CV. So you have to manually enter the details. You have to write your what exactly were your responsibilities while you were undertaking this role. So just be mindful of this as well. Now, how exactly will you calculate your work experience? So Chevening portal will automatically calculate how many hours you have spent in a particular role when you enter. So let's say there's a role of communication coordinator led by, okay? Now, number of hours you have spent in a week and number of days. So number of hours per day and number of days you have spent in that week, you have to enter that. And Chevening by default will calculate the number of hours. Please try not to give unrealistic number of hours. Even if you have worked 60 hours a week, please don't do that. Try at max to be like maximum 40 hours, 35 to 40 hours, because even they know that this is not realistically possible. So please calculate accordingly. And if there's no fixed number of hours, then you can keep an average. You can span it across the number of weeks you have spent in that organization. Then you can make an average and add that value here. Okay, so just be mindful that don't give any unrealistic number so that they can catch you later. Degree, I've already mentioned, you need to have an undergraduate degree. Upper second class usually varies. So there's no hard and fast rule that you have to have 70% or 20, 80% or 90%. Most of the scholars who have been with me, even if they have scored between like anything beyond 60% is eligible. You can always apply for that. Okay, you'll have to check separately though for the course requirement. So let's say if you're applying to Oxford might have a requirement of 70% undergraduate degree, whereas Chevening doesn't. So it will vary from course to course, but just be mindful that you do a proper research, thorough research on that before you start applying. And as I mentioned, you should have already been you should have been a graduate student by the time you have started your application process. So please don't apply when you're in your final year. Only once you have got your degree, once you have cleared all the requirements, only then apply for the award. Now, selecting courses for Chevening, you will have to select three master's courses. You do not need to have an offer at that point of time. When you're applying now, when you're doing the research, you just need to know that, okay, I'm not sure who's this person, but they're just constantly scratching. So please be mindful. Um, you need to only mention the choice of courses. Let's say if you want to pursue a policy degree, okay, and if you are sure that you want to apply for public policy at LSE, Imperial College, Oxford, that's it. You should be well aware that why exactly are you doing this? How is it aligning with your future career goals? How it aligns with your past experience or past education? If you are able to build that case, because one of the essays is about your choice of courses, that is it. And once you have submitted a Chevening application in October, then you can start applying to university applications. So always remember, scholarship applications will be going in parallel to your university application, and they are completely separate process for that. And so you, when you're doing the research on the course you want to pursue, please thoroughly research what is the requirement of the degree. Only if you are eligible for that degree, then mention that degree in the in Chevening application. Okay. Courses need to be full time. They should be starting sometime around September, October, because there are courses which start around January, February. You are not eligible for that. Don't mention that course here. They should be a taught master's degree courses. There are something called as master's research programs. They are not
तो
eligible again.
क्या बोलते हैं यूनिवर्सिटी के वो लोग एप्स रहते हैं ना जो ये
Okay. Taught master's courses, so they cannot be master's research programs. There are courses which are called master's research program. Please make sure you don't apply for them in Chevening specifically. Courses cannot be part-time, not less than 12 months. No PhD or DPhil degree is funded by Chevening. And if there's a component of exchange program where 6 months you are in the UK, 6 months you are in Singapore, that's also not eligible. So there are courses in the UK which has component of you going to some other university outside UK. Please be mindful that is also not eligible for achieving scholarships. Timeline: August, October. This year applications will open on 5th of August, and I'm assuming this will go until October 5th, but they haven't officially released the timeline on the website. They have just mentioned that applications will open on 5th of August. So please start drafting your essays. Sometime around mid-February, you'll be getting your interview invites. And at this point of time, when you're filling your application before November, you will have to mention the names and the profiles of your referees. Okay. You don't need to get the reference letter right now. You just need to be sure who is going to be your referee. So अगर आपने किसी को दो लोगों से बात कर ली कि क्या आप मेरा रेफरेंस लेटर लिख देंगे, if they have agreed, that's all you need to submit at this point of time. Later, around mid-February is the deadline. Until then, you can submit your reference letters as well as the education documents, that is your transcripts, your degrees, and if in case there are other more requirements. Sometime around mid-February to end of April, you will be interviewed by the Chevening High Commission in different cities. So let's say your domicile is from Haryana, so you might fall in Delhi High Commission. If your domicile is from Chhattisgarh, you might fall into Calcutta High Commission. So every High Commission will be interviewing based on the domicile, your domicile. Okay. Sometime around mid-June to end of June, you get your results. And once you get your result, by mid-July, you need to submit your at least one unconditional offer. Now, what exactly is unconditional offer? अगर आप किसी भी यूनिवर्सिटी में अप्लाई करते हैं फॉर स्कॉलरशिप फॉर अ कोर्स, लेट्स से मैंने अप्लाई किया पब्लिक पॉलिसी के लिए, I have submitted my SOP, I have submitted my writing sample, whatever requirements they had given to me. If in case they want to make an offer, they will be giving me an conditional offer initially. And the conditions could be around that, okay, you have met our basic requirements. Why don't you give us proof of your English language certificate, or something around. They can also ask you, why don't you send us the transcript from the university, or maybe financial proof. So there will be some conditions left that you need to meet. Only when these conditions are met, they will be giving you an unconditional offer. So you need to submit that unconditional offer by mid of July to at least secure your Chevening scholarship. All right, quick essays overview. There are 4 essays that you need to write for Chevening. One is leadership, second is relationship building slash networking, third will be on your choice of courses, and fourth is your future career plan, future career goals. Every essay will have a maximum word limit of 500 words. It should be written in English, and don't start writing your essays directly on the portal. You can draft it separately in a document and later submit it. Okay. Now we can go in detail. Now, the 4 essays, so leadership and networking, I have clubbed them in one, plan of studying in the UK and career goals. When you are writing your leadership and networking essays, you need to bring in examples of your leadership or networking or relationship building from your academic slash personal life, professional life. Please avoid personal life examples that I have 500 connections on Instagram, I get 60,000 views on my reels. Don't do that. Please try to bring in professional and academic examples where you have showcased leadership, where you have showcased networking skills, and how your network has helped you achieve some tasks. I'll talk about them in detail in the further slides. Okay. Um, Studying in the UK, when you are mentioning the choice of courses, the interview panel would like to know that how exactly you have researched that course, how exactly you have arrived at that course. You cannot simply say that I want to pursue public policy at Oxford because it is ranked 5 or this is one of the best course. You have to tell if it is best, why is it best for you? Okay. If your background is in a particular field, let's say climate budgeting, and if climate budgeting is taught at Oxford, so if you can build that connection that this particular course of climate budgeting is taught by Professor XYZ, and this will align me with my future career plans. So this will help me build my a more nuanced understanding towards climate budgeting. So you have to do as detailed research as possible about that course, and you have to explain that course in a format that it aligns with your career plans, it aligns with your profile. Okay. Uh, Career goals again, it has to be a short, mid, and long-term career goal. Please keep your goals smart, which is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Do not bring unrealistic goals like I want to end poverty in the next 10 years, which is humanly impossible. Okay. But keep it realistic. Tell that once you have returned from the UK, in the short term, I will be doing this with this particular organization. This is what I have learned, and this is how it's going to help me achieve this task. Okay. I'll go in detail about each essay in further slides. Okay. The first essay is leadership and influence. Um, so I heard somewhere when I was in my undergraduate that whenever you want to apply for an entrance exam, before you start preparing for it, it's always advised that you understand the exam first. You understand that what exactly they feel about, what exactly they want to further propagate. So you should spend some time understanding what exactly is Chevening, that who they have funded in the past, where their support comes from, what is their goals, what exactly, how exactly they look at impact, how exactly they look at leadership. Only when you have gone through this process you will realize that Chevening pays a lot of emphasis on brand building. People who come from backgrounds which is obviously not noticed, people who want to bring an impact in the society, people who could be their brand ambassadors in the future. So wherever they go, they carry the name of Chevening, they carry the tag of Chevening. It doesn't matter if you were a gold medalist or not, they don't really care, honestly. I mean, amongst all of the scholarships I have seen, Chevening is really not, rigid on you being academically brilliant. You could be brilliant, it's fine, but that's not their criteria. They really want to see someone who is good amongst people, someone who can build relationships, someone who can lead a team, or someone who could take a charge or something. So please understand the requirement of Chevening, the ethos of Chevening, and once you have understood it, then maybe you'll be able to draft your essay as well. Now, Chevening always invests in people who could be future leaders or influencers in their countries, in the areas they are working. So they want to see those answers. Now, when you start drafting your essay, always remember you need to highlight these leadership examples from any of your personal, professional, or academic experiences. Try to bring in a professional experience that's more, appreciated. Now, do not bring in examples like we as a team worked this, we went ahead and did this particular task. Always try to showcase at what exactly was your role, how did you motivate, how did you identify the challenge, and what was the outcome where you were involved. Okay, so please try to keep it about yourself because they just want to know about you. Okay. uh, and since it's the first essay, it has to be strong, it needs to set the context for the further essays. Okay, what exactly is going to be the structure of the essay? Please do not start with quotations or definitions or meaning of leadership by Mr. Narendra Modi or Nelson Mandela. Nobody cares. Avoid quotations, avoid quotes because you don't have enough words. You only have 500 words. You can, however, start with your idea of leadership, how it was molded, how it was nurtured as you grew, if there were any hardships you have faced, and how that hardship has changed your perspective towards leadership, or how that hardship has made you as a leader. So maybe you can start with this example with a personal anecdote which can give them some context of your background, and then you start with the example. When I say example, let's say if you're working with Teach for India, or let's say if you're working as a CSR professional, you can always mention that while working as a CSR professional, I was given a task of uh, uh, supporting a particular village which has malnutrition cases of XYZ percentage. Okay, now your role was to partner with local NGOs, local communities, and bring more awareness around malnutrition, bringing support from let's say the regional government, and you addressed up you saw a problem, you used a particular approach of leader, you reached out to different communities, and then this was the final impact. Now this is how you start with an example. You can always use a star or car approach, which means context, action, and research. Whenever you draft an example, you divide it in a way that you build the context first, so that assume the reader is someone who doesn't know anything, he is completely layman. Okay, whosoever will be reviewing the chevening applications, जरूरी नहीं है कि वो आपके ही background से हों. So it's always advised, it's recommended, and it's, I will personally say, do this is, do not use jargons, do not use high frequency words, keep it as simple as possible so that anybody who is not even from that background can understand what you are doing, what you have done. Okay. Always use numbers where possible. You have to quantify impact. If you're working with X number of community members, if you have brought X percentage of impact, mention that, highlight that. That is important. So quantifying your impact is important. This is how you will differentiate from other applicants. That's about leadership. Um, Networking and relationship building. Now here, there's a very thin line between networking and leadership example. Leadership example is all about how you took charge, how you acted, how you you took a step further, you identified the problem, and you did it on your own. Networking, on the other hand, is about same about problem, you taking charge, but addressing a problem or finding a solution to a problem was not you alone. You tapped into your network of professionals, you tapped into your community, you reached out to a particular individual who is good with this, their expertise, so you bring in their expertise to address a problem you've been working on. So collectively using your network, tapping into a network to address a problem, how you build relationships, how you identify communities that could, be part of your network in the end, and that can bring positive impact. So Whenever you're giving examples, you bring examples, but bring in examples where you have tabbed networks and communities to address the problem. Rest, everything is similar to leadership. Start with an impactful understanding of networking for you, relationship building for you, and then you go with one by one with, when you go ahead and mention your examples of networking and relationship building. Similar to leadership, use car or star approach. Yeah. Studying in the UK, that's the third essay. Uh, so usually what I advise is when you start writing your evening essays, especially the last two essays, before you deep dive directly jump into my first choice of course is this, my second choice of course is this, start with a paragraph that gives them an understanding of why exactly this person is pursuing this degree. So you can bring in that, okay, I have, while working in this particular field, um, let's say you're working in the policy domain and you suddenly realize that your work is getting limited because as you grow in your career, as you go up the ladder, you realize that policy should be more evidence backed or policy should be more looked from more from a gendered lens. However, your previous degree did not cover that. So you can mention that I have worked in this domain, I have worked in this sector, I have brought this impact. However, often I realize that my work is not meeting that potential because I lack academic training in this particular field, and I would like to further enrich that. Hence, my choice of courses are around public policy with a focus on gender, hypothetically, and then you go one by one. My first choice of course is University of Oxford public policy degree, because you explain the course, you mention maybe a professor, a research which is going on. You can also mention how you will contribute to that classroom. If you have vast experience of working with public sector public professionals, you can mention that I will bring that experience in the classroom. If you have experience of working in, let's say, budgeting, you can say I can bring that experience as well. So also bring that example where you also contribute to peer learning. Okay, focus on course content. Do not focus a lot on professors only. ऐसा नहीं कि हर एग्जांपल में मेंशन कर रहे हैं कि प्रोफेसर एक्स वाई जी प्रोफेसर, भाई मान लो कल प्रोफेसर निकल गया तो क्या कोर्स नहीं करोगे आप? ऐसा तो है नहीं. So don't overdo this. Maybe one professor in one of the choice of courses is okay, but not every choice should be about that particular professor. Do not copy, please. Website में description होता है university के. Do not copy the course description from the university for essays. It's easily, I mean, it can be easily traced. Already covered this. When the structure would be like this, you start with the motivation towards the course. You can bring your stats or data to make case stronger. It's basically introduction to the field. It's more like an overarching theme on policy, that why you want to do policy, and then you go one by one. Okay. So this I have already covered. Career plans, as I mentioned, we are looking for, they always look for clear, achievable post-study career plans. Please give realistic goals. You can, again, similar to the previous essay, okay, I'll come to that later. So you have to set goals, and you have to also look at how exactly the course that you have pursued, what you have studied in the UK, the network you have built in the UK, how exactly these things will contribute towards your goals. Let's say if you want to work with, let's say you want to start a social enterprise, okay, in the midterm goal, and you can mention that in my midterm goal, I would like to start an enterprise working on vocational training. And one of the Chevening scholars from Bangladesh who has worked in this domain is Mr. XYZ. They have been working over the last 20 years. I would like to use the expertise in the Chevening network to learn from them and make mistakes, and how not to make mistakes. So you can also mention this. So try to bring in Chevening connections also, so that they know that, okay, this person is somehow dependent on chevening as well. सब कुछ आप खुद ही कर लोगे तो chevening का रोल क्या रहा फिर? ठीक है. Structure of the essay, similar to the right, the choice of courses, there should be an overarching theme which talks about, okay, how you want to build your career. If you want to, let's say you say I have worked in this particular domain, however this particular field remains untouched, I would like to do that. I would like to work on policy, I would like to work with international development, and then you start with short, mid, and long term. So in the further paragraph, you keep your short-term plan, mid-term plan, long-term plan. Short-term could be immediately after you return from the UK. type of organizations you want to work with. You can even name a few. You can look at how FCDO's partnership with India, excuse me, India's partnership with the UK, how existing projects will be benefited from your contribution with your expertise, what you have studied in the UK, how can that contribute if you have studied research and evaluation, how that particular subject will help you in your short term, mid term, or long term career plan. So mention all of this. And in the end, you can always mention that how largely cheating or your community or India, your home country, will benefit from your careers. Okay, that's lastly how you write your essays. Um, Reference and LORs, please try to give it from someone who knows you well. It's not about the name. Chevening doesn't care a lot about the name. If there's someone who can vouch for you, please prefer that. You can keep a combination of professional academic, academic. I will recommend that please don't only keep academic. You can keep a mix of both, one professional, one academic. Okay, they should be able to give their details in case Chevening contacts them. They should be able to talk about you. They can vouch about your leadership networking. They can talk about your personal, interpersonal, intellectual skills, and most importantly, your ability to complete the degree in the UK. That yes, this person has previously studied. They can understand the language well. They have the academic acumen. All of this should be written in the LOR. This needs to be submitted in before February. Right now, you only need to mention their details. Perfect. Before we take questions, interviews will happen sometime around. So, first round of shortlisting will happen around December, where they will shortlist against the number of hours, like the work experience, your degree, if you have completed, and if that shortlist has been done, then they will move to the interview stage. Interviews usually happens in February, start February, and sometime no, so, not so sorry, not February, March till May, March, April, May. For every country, it varies. India mostly starts sometime around end of March till end of April. Um, in the interview panel, you will be having Supriya Chawla, who is Chevening India head in all the interviews. You will be having one Chevening alumni from India. It could be a Chevening scholar or it could be Chevening Gurukul fellow. There will be one person who is from the British High Commission. That person will be there, and then one or two person for note taking. 20-25 odd minutes, one of the most relaxed interviews I have ever been to. They really give you pace, they really give you time. So interviews are really relaxed and it's not technical at all. They really want to look at what you have written in your essays. Is it you who has written it? And they just want to hear it from you. At times they might ask cross questions on your background, your work, what you have written, but it's not grilling at all. They are extremely warm people. So yeah, that's about Chevening. I'm happy to take questions if there are any. And yeah, thank you.
Yep. So everyone, please feel free to raise your hands and we can go ahead with the questions one by one. In case you are not able to speak, you can please feel free to write it down in the chat box as well. And we would love to go ahead with Rumana. Yep, Rumana.
Good morning, sir. Thank you. I am Rumana Bhagwan. I am BTech Electronics and Telecommunication Engineer, 2023 graduate, and currently I'm not working. I'm seeking job. I was not I didn't get any campus placement, so I have only volunteering experiences and internship experiences in my resume right now. So am I eligible? And if I opt for MBA and not any MS program like belonging to tech background, then is my tuition fee will remain same or will it change or reduce or something? And is the work experience letter, as I don't have any work experience, so what can I mention in my resume?
Okay.
And uh, I have one more question. uh, if I know British accent English, should I mention that in the resume if opting for UK specifically?
Okay. Mm, I'll answer in the reverse order. British accent, no need for that. Regarding your fees, MBA will always have a cap of £22,000. Any other course which is not an MBA you're eligible for full fee support from Chevening. And answering your first question, if your volunteering experience is equivalent to your 2 years, yes, you are eligible for that. And regarding work experience certificate, they don't ask you that. Okay. I hope I've answered it.
Shikha?
Thank you, Ledbury and sir, for giving this very informative session. I have actually a bunch of questions. I'll give a brief about my profile. I have close to 6+ years of experience in public policy and now in climate. And my background is undergraduate in economics in 2017, followed by a master's in economics in 2019. So this would be my second master's. Um, I am interested in courses in public policy development and climate because this is what my work experience has been so far. I wanted to understand, like in the three choice of courses, if I can give like these preferences, would it make my case like slightly weaker because they are though they are integrated, but they are very different from each other? That is my question number one. Another thing I wanted to understand was if a person is eligible to take on some internships or any part-time opportunities while pursuing their masters, which is related to their field of work to gain, more hands-on experience in UK. Does it, is that okay to be covered under Chevening, or is it not allowed for the students to do that? I have a few more questions, but I can take it like after these are answered.
Sure. So to answer your second question, yes, you're allowed to do internships. You're allowed to work paid and paid, but there's a limit that's 20 hours per week. I will personally not recommend you working during your education, during your degree, because one, it's a 1 year degree. It's crunched, unlike India's master's programs. Two, you don't get to experience a lot. I mean, you can do it during your term breaks. You can do that, but during your courses which are going on, please avoid that. However, if you still want to go ahead and do it, 20 hours per week, that is it. Okay. Yeah, and
And
answering your first question, yes, there can be, as long as you are able to draw a line, a thread between your three choice of courses, there should be some commonality between these courses, right? You need to mention that, okay, one course cannot be in education, second course cannot be in climate, third course cannot be in general policy. If it's public policy, you can mention that public policy at Oxford, but emphasis on climate, public policy at Cambridge, but emphasis on this particular module. There should be some coherence amongst these courses. They cannot be standalone. Okay, as long as you're able to draw these lines, as long as you're able to build this connection, it's fine. It's acceptable.
all
I
right,
hope I
thank you
have
so
answered.
much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Another thing I wanted to check with you is that since I have um kind of 6 years of experience, I think my profession, both my references, if they are coming from the professional domain, would be helpful. What would you
Yeah.
suggest on that? And so is there any preference on how long the person should be knowing? For example, my current manager, I'm interested to get his reference, but he knows me less than a year. He knows me for about 8 months. Um, but do you suggest on going ahead with that, or shall I go for a reference who knows me for a longer period of time?
One, yes, you can take both professional experience, professional referees. Two, it doesn't matter as long as they know you well, they can vouch for you. You can take either of them. So it's honestly it's up to you.
All
There's no
right.
hard and fast that you should be knowing them for at least 1 year or 15 months or whatever. There's no, they're not fixated on that.
Got it. And my last question, sorry, I won't take more time. Just assuming hypothetically, like after the degree is done and one gets an opportunity to work in international development, but not in India and UK, would one be expected to come back to the home country itself, or let's assume there is some other country which is not UK? Just wanted to be clear on those terms as well.
Well, the session is being recorded. I don't want to, and obviously I'm not a official spokesperson of Chevening, so I will go by the rules as they say on the on the website, you are expected to return to your home country.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So Manzar, we have a question in the chat box. Is this
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
for PhD courses?
No, they're not. For PhD, I would suggest if I can take a few minutes, so you can look at ESRC scholarships. You can look at Clarendon Scholarship at Oxford. You can look at Gates Cambridge Scholarship at Cambridge. However, my personal advice, if you are really thinking for a PhD, and if you are not bound with number of years, go for either Australia, Europe, US. Obviously, the current times are not that great, but then definitely doing a PhD and post PhD opportunities in the US is much better than what you get in the UK. And do not sponsor, do not spend money from your pocket to do a PhD ever, especially in the UK. That's a personal suggestion, but again, it can differ from person to person, and you can obviously talk to a PhD scholar. But sorry, PhD is not funded by Chevening. Yeah.
So the another question we have is the workplaces that we are going to mention in work experience. How will they make sure that we have actually worked there? Are they going to connect with the people there?
I mean, only if you're planning to give wrong information, don't worry. They don't, but avoid it in case they ask you for the information, it will be embarrassing. There's no, I mean, until my year, this was 21. They never asked for any work experience certificate. As long as you have mentioned it, it's fine.
So another question, is it better if I take an LOR from my last professional experience, which is unrelated to my degree, or from my
Yeah,
job, which is related to my degree, which is better?
doesn't matter. It's better. Had I been in a place, I would have taken an LOR from someone which aligns with my work so that they're able to build more context. But in case they're unable to, it's fine. It's completely fine. Priority one would be from someone who is related to your field.
Over to you, Anjum.
Sorry.
So Anjum, Fabiha,
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Um, so, hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Somebody else is speaking. Okay. So I have a couple of questions. Firstly, I would like to brief you a little bit about my background. I've completed my BS and MS in biological sciences from one of the IITs back in 2018. And then I prepared for civil services for 2 to 3 selected in one of the departments of the Ministry of Home Affairs. I worked there for over a year, and currently I'm a Group A officer under Ministry of Agriculture. So now I want to pursue Masters in Public Policy from UK under Chevenings. Firstly, my first question is, since I completed my BSMS back in 2018, so the professors over there, they know me as a biological sciences student, and now I want to switch my field from a biological sciences to this particular public policy.
Yes.
Would the academic reference in that way would work? Because my professors were under the in capacity of biological sciences, not something related to public policy and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
is it okay?
It will be
Is
accepted as long as, so again, they should talk about you, your intellectual capacity, your capability, your academic acumen, you as a person, you as a leader. If it's fine, they don't have to be very specific on what you want to pursue, because there are many people who go for interdisciplinary courses, so
yeah.
it need not be in the same field, so it's completely fine.
Okay. Secondly, my marks, I secured 7.0 as a CGPA in BS and MS. So is it a still, how much weightage is it going to carry in the Chevenings? Like, I'm not very sure about it.
It's fine.
Um,
Honestly, I have always scored, my highest score ever has been 7.2 or 75. It's okay. It's fine. My undergrad,
uh,
my master's at this was 77.2. It's fine.
Okay. Now, another thing is currently I'm working in the capacity of an administrative officer. So if I will be wanting to go for evenings, I also have a minor in developmental studies during my BS and MS. So if I want to fill two separate courses, one should be related to public policy and the other one related to developmental studies. Is it okay to do that?
Firstly, Akhil, can you please mute? Thank you. Yes. So dev studies and policy is still okay as long as you're able to justify the. So if you want to pursue a policy degree, you can. Okay, it might get little tricky, but let's say if your focus is on uh, learning research from policy degree and also learning research from this particular from this development studies degree, as long as the outcome is similar for both, the output is similar for both,
Okay.
it's okay. But it shouldn't sound like, okay, I want to do dev studies because it will help me learn research, whereas I want to do policy degree
Okay.
because it will help me build my network. So try to have try to align the output from each degree in a way that they are same.
Okay. Also, since I'm working under the Ministry of Agriculture, I would like to pursue something which is related to public policy and the agri systems and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
if I include it in my scholarship essay as well as while I'm filling for the courses, that would
Hmm.
be fine. I hope.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. In fact, look for universities which already has existing research, existing professors, modules on which aligns with what you want to do. It should be okay.
Okay. Since lastly, just the last question. I won't take much time. Since I'm changing fields, like coming from biological sciences and now changing to public policy developmental studies, how is somebody supposed to like include it in their essays, and how we are going to justify that? Is it the onus is completely on us? Like, I think
Um,
there is a
yeah,
disturbance.
yeah. Not really in Chevening. Maybe you can briefly mention this in your university applications on why you pivoted. But
Okay.
Chevening, I don't think you have scope or number of words. I also moved from engineering background to social sciences, and then obviously
Okay.
Oxford. So it's fine. It's honestly okay. You don't have the onus is not on you, but especially on Chevening or scholarship essays. However, when you're applying for the university applications,
Okay.
there can be some mention of the reason to pivot on why you want to. Unless if you think you have enough justification, enough substance from your current degree or experience, you
Right.
can let it go as well. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. That's all. Thank you so much.
No worries. All the best.
Sir, I have also a question.
Yeah, Fabiha, can you go ahead?
Ma'am, actually, I
So, yeah, hi. Basically, my question is regarding I am currently in the last semester of my master's program, which is in English language and literature. So, I wanted your suggestion, sir, over this that should I go for a PhD program or start with a job? Because I'm really confused with it. And for a PhD program that I want to pursue from not from India but from outside, that too on a scholarship. I just realized that Shifting doesn't provide a scholarship for a PhD program. So, what would you suggest, sir? And for the essay one, this is my another question for the essay question that you talked about the leadership thing. So can we mention that just I don't know if we should write it or we should like mention it, but the thing is that in a university campus there was a harassment case which was being which was being put under the carpet for a long period of time. Then I took the initiative, and that particular person was removed from the university. So can we mention it or not? And just last thing, if I have pursue a job right now for a year or so, can I would that be better if I like if right now I do not have much connections, so if I build connections over a period of time, is it better to pursue the scholarship after a year, or like over to you, sir? What would you suggest?
They are difficult questions. I'll be honest with you. The first question, is life's mystery, PhD versus job. Honestly, I have no idea about this. This is a very personal decision that you need to take. However, all I can say is if you're looking for a PhD, you should have very, very strong reasons because it's at least, if not 4 years of commitment. That's the least number of years you're going to take from the UK or Europe. And then you need to also look at your post PhD life because for 4 years you will not be earning a lot. Your professional growth will be stagnant. You will be only growing academically. So you have to ask yourself this, and I will recommend speak to someone who has pursued a PhD in language. You are pursuing English, I guess. So
Yeah.
speak to someone who has done their PhD in this field. Uh, don't speak to someone who already has social privilege or let's say financial privilege. Speak to someone who aligns with your background, who knows how the market is, and only then take a call on doing a PhD or not. That's my advice on PhD versus job. Leadership experience, what you mentioned, definitely you can mention that. You can definitely mention that, but don't put it in a way that you were responsible to remove this person. Don't keep it that straightforward. Just mention that there was a case, there was no one speaking about it. This kept on going. You realize there's an atrocity going on. You realize there's something which needs to be done, and then you acted upon it. And based on that, this person was asked to remove or something. So maybe you can mention structure in a way that looks like a explained example, not directly just telling that I helped remove this person. So yes, you can mention that. Can you please repeat the third question, Fabia?
Yeah, sure, sir. I just forgot my own question. Yeah, I was asking that if I go for a job for a year or so, because right now I do not have much connections over the
It's okay, honestly. You don't when I say networking doesn't mean that you need to have connections. As long as you have worked in a group, as long as you have worked together, as long as for any task you have collaborated with any other organization, any other entity, it's okay. That's also fine. But don't defer your achieving plan because you don't have connections.
Alright, okay, thank you so
All the
much.
best, all the best.
So, Mansa, we have another question. It's regarding although I have applied for IELTS yet and plan to take it by the end of this year, I'd like to know if I'm still eligible to apply for the Chevening Scholarship without this certification at this stage.
Okay. First thing first, Chevening doesn't ask IELTS any longer. There's no requirement for English language test from Chevening. Please don't give it now. Second, personal advice: don't give IELTS or any language test now. That can be given later once you have received a conditional offer letter. Unless the university says that you need to have IELTS while you apply, defer it as long as possible because it's not cheap. Two, when you have, if you have studied from an English medium, let's say school or your university, ask for a waiver. Always ask for a waiver. Don't be ready to pay immediately. Only if they say that we cannot give you waiver, then go for achieving. That too, जब आपने conditional offer letter आ गया आपके पास, तब आप IELTS दीजिएगा because that can be given later as well. So don't give now. That's my advice. So and yeah, achieving doesn't ask for IELTS. No language test is asked from achieving.
So, another question, Mansa, we have it's what do you think was the most crucial part of your essay that made all the difference in your selection?
Guys, I don't know. I'm really sorry. It's been 4 years now. I don't know. I really don't know. There's no blueprint, and a lot of factors go beyond my essay as well. My interview, the background I come from, the number of applicants that year. Um, I, I don't know, guys. There's no answer for this. How even I question at times how did I get selected? So maybe just understand the scholarship well, what exactly they ask. Keep it simple, keep it crisp to the point. Don't beat around the bush. Um, yeah, and maybe an interview is a different process altogether. Once you have cleared the written stage, interview is just luck and how you speak and how passionately you talk about what you want to do in life. But again, having said that, I don't know. I don't know the answer for this. Sorry for disappointing.
Yeah, over to you, Aisha.
So, thank you for the amazing session. So, I have first let me tell you about my background. So, I have done my bachelor's in chemistry from AMU. Then I've done my master's in social work, and now I have 3 years of work experience in development sector. So I work in NRLM, I work in CSR. Then again, right now I'm working with TRIF. So this is my background. So the first question I have, that I have done my bachelor's in chemistry, then switched to social work. So this will make my CV weak, or and this is the something that is questionable. This is the first question. And the second question is, though I have 3 years of work experience right now, so the work experience I have to show for 2 years only. So that will be in the chronological order, that the recent work experience I have to show. Yeah, I have to show my all my work experience of 3 years or only 2 years. So I have to confirm that.
Yeah. First thing first, the organizations you have mentioned, TRIF, it's amazing, especially in the development sector. They are highly regarded. So in nowhere, I think your profile or your previous degree is going to weaken your application. As I said before, people have pivoted, people will pivot, and people continue to pivot, and people will pivot in the future as well. They move from one discipline to another, and it's completely fine. Nobody cares about this anymore. It's completely acceptable. And the profiles, the organizations you have mentioned, they also have a very good repute. So you have a strong case. Uh, the second question, yes, I will recommend giving in the current chronology, your recent experience, and then you go backwards, and you have 15 forms entries. You can mention 15 times your work experience. So it's fine. There's no limit on number of work. Mention till the very end, all your work experience, because when I was entering, I also entered my Wipro, my software engineer experience as well. That's completely fine. So you can mention the latest and you can go back. It's fine.
So one more question only. So basically, I'm a development professional on basically work on livelihood with women. And right now I'm working in gender intersection. Okay. So I want to do masters in public policy. So it's relatable or not?
Definitely, Aisha. I mean, I also come from a livelihoods background. I understand.
Okay.
Yes, it's relatable. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
All the best. Okay, we'll keep it fast now. I think there are a lot of people waiting. Yeah.
So everyone, please just go keep it short to one question, and it would be like really good. So yep, Sayani, go ahead. Or Faraz, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I can go. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Hi, Manzar. This is Shani. I will not give a brief about my background. I have a social work degree, master's in social work degree from TIS Mumbai. I was your junior in college. And I just wanted to ask one question, which is I had applied last year. I had an offer from Leeds. But then I think where I have been primarily struggling is the last essay, where you have to give your short term and the long term goals. Since I have 5 years of experience in government advisory and policy, but I've worked in several niche areas, which I think I have been a little messed up with like trying to convey what I really want to do in my short term career and in my long term career. Would you have any tips for that?
Okay. Firstly, good to see Atisyan again. So your previous experience, I don't think it needs to be the focal point in your career goals. So I can immediately tell you how exactly I approached my essay. My essays were focusing on evidence-based policy making. Okay, and how exactly I can bring in, how can I embed evidence into research into my in policy or any social intervention. So let me not talk about the introductory paragraph, but let's just go short, mid, and long term. How I approach that. Always try to show growth. For example, I started by saying that once I return, I would like to work specifically in organizations like JPAL, ID Insight, Evidence Action, which primarily work on how do you use evidence into this into policy making. And I had specifically written that I would like to work with projects around livelihoods, project in states like Dimaru. And then I went on to search. There's an existing project between India and UK which focuses on these states in Bihar, Jharkhand, UP. And coincidentally, I ended up working in Bihar only, and that too with JPL, that too around livelihood. So if you're able to make it as accurate as possible, try. And then here I mentioned that my understanding of using evidence for better policies in my Oxford degree will further help me with my short term. So I was able to build connection with my degree, what I had pursued in the UK, and what I want to do. And then my midterm goal was to move from state to the central level, which actually happened again. So I was trying to show a growth from micro to macro. So always try to show that once you have achieved a particular goal, then you move out, you zoom out, and then you try to bring impact at a larger scale. And then I said in the midterm goal, I would like to work with the state more on the policy level rather than implementation level. And then that was my midterm goal. And my long-term goal was again around building an enterprise, learning, starting a social enterprise, which is based on findings and learnings from all these previous. So there should be a jump from short, mid, and long. Always jump has to be replicated. So that should be it. I don't think you need to mention a lot about your previous work experience into your short, mid, and long-term career plan. Maybe some way a pinch of this can be brought in, and you can just say that, okay, my previous experience of working with government advisory can be helpful while I'm working on policy making with the state, or let's say with the implementers. So you can bring that, but don't let it be the focal point of your career goals, because that has to be your future now. Does that make sense, Sayani?
Yeah, right. Absolutely. It's helpful. Thank you, Manzur. Thank you.
All the best.
So
Thank you.
very quickly, we'll move to Faraz and then to Soha. So Faraz, go ahead.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, there is one question that I am from Bihar and pursued education in Hindi up to school level. So, do I need to give a transcript of English? And also, as my home state is Bihar, so the nearest consulate will be in Kolkata, but I am posted in Delhi.
If I understood, yeah, if I understood you correct, for us, your question is, you did your schooling in English Hindi medium.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it
Yes,
all
sir.
okay? And what about your undergraduate?
And that is in English. I
It's
pursue my
fine.
education in from Zambia.
Okay, it's okay. It's fine. They don't need to ask you transcript in English for your school. So schooling is they don't ask anything around that. It doesn't really matter now. They only ask for your undergraduate degree and transcript, and that is okay. Second, regarding your posting in Delhi, this let's wait for the interview. I don't know where, and but it's mostly it's online interview. You don't have to be there in person, so it's okay. Based on your domicile or maybe your current address, they will be giving you interview location, and even if the interview location is Calcutta or Delhi, it will be virtual. Nothing is online. Nothing is in person.
Sir, there is another question. Basically, my undergraduate is in engineering, electronics and communication from Delhi, and thereafter I was pursuing a master's from international relations from Jamia Millia Islamia, but didn't complete that course. Meanwhile, I got selected for Group A post in Delhi. I am currently working in Ministry of Commerce and Industry as a patent examiner in the electronics and communication area. So problem is that I can't find a professor from my college, matlab, where I did my undergraduate to give a recommendation. But I surely find some professor from Jamia Millia Islamia who taught me international relation. So do I take a recommendation from the Jamia Millia Islamia
Yes,
professor,
yes, yes,
or
yes, yes. You can take.
okay. Sir, there is another question is related to public policy. As my
Uh,
work is
Faraz,
basically
I
anonymous.
cut you down just to be mindful of time. So Soha, can you just go ahead quickly, very quickly?
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. Such an insightful
Um,
session. My name is Soha Kapadia, and I am a electrical engineer. I completed my graduation in 2020. Post that, I did 3 years of intensive core experience, but now I am a founder of a startup, and my startup is completely irrelevant to what I did in the past. So my question is, so when I'm writing my essay and LOR and everything, I don't have much to show because I'm a struggling founder as of now. I'm building something for the future. So should I say that on the Glorify or the work I did before that? What would be like a more easier part for me to choose then?
Okay. In context of Chevening Essence, it doesn't matter if when you're bringing in your leadership experience or networking experience, it need not be from the field you want to pursue your degree on. So let's say if you want to pursue social entrepreneurship, I'm assuming, okay, your examples from leadership or networking do not need to reflect your experience in social entrepreneurship. It's fine if it's from engineering, core engineering, your startup experience, your college experience. It's fine as long as they come under the ambit, they come under the umbrella of leader or a network, someone who can network. It's fine. But you
Okay,
need to
so my
build your case around your SOPs. That's really important. So you need to build your case around that.
okay, and if I'm giving someone a reference and that person is from my ex work experience, that's okay, right?
Yeah, that's completely fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all from my end. Thank you so much for the
All the best
help.
for the startup as well. Yeah.
Tanya.
Hi, Manzo. Thank you for the session. I'll just keep it very quick. So I just wanted to understand around the eligibility of the scholarship. So I've seen I've done a little bit of stalking, sorry, but most evening scholars I see are in the social impact or in the policy kind of sectors. Maybe it is to satisfy the requirement of having an impact in the home country or having like a broader impact in the home country. Would you suggest somebody who's working in in the corporate sector, would they be ineligible? Would you say that?
No, no, not at all. Not at all. They were people from finance, engineering. I do agree. Most of the applications come that way. That a lot of applications come from social sciences, specifically policy, law, education, and that's why. So let's say if 10 people have applied from social sciences, whereas 3 have applied from engineering, obviously the output would be, it looks something else. So there's no way Chevening differentiates or Chevening prioritizes people who come from this background. So definitely you are eligible and you should apply if you come from this background.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All the best.
And just for an FYI, Sania, one of led by his fellow Sharmi Nehtasham, she was coming from a corporate background and she got selected for, I guess, some economics or maybe from some management media degree at LSE through Chevening Scholarship only. And right now she's working with Unilever. So I guess this
Right.
might somewhere. So yeah.
Thanks,
Uh,
Isbat. Thank you.
over to you, Hiba.
Hi, Asba. Hi, Manzar. I hope you
Hello.
both are doing great. So I'm originally from New Delhi, and right after graduating high school, I came to Canada to pursue my undergrad studies in 2023. My question to you is, since I don't have any sort of higher education, be it undergrad or master's from an Indian institution, but I still hold like Indian citizenship and nationality. So would I still fulfill like all the prerequisites to apply for the scholarship, or would that be like a total no-no?
Mm, I honestly don't know, but what I going by the books, it says you should have an undergraduate degree. It doesn't say you should have an undergraduate degree from an achieving eligible country.
Right.
That's one. So definitely, I would say, why don't you ask the Chevening India team directly? Email ID should be available in the public domain. But if you ask me, my vague understanding is you should be eligible as long as you have the passport.
Yeah, because like I have interned with Delhi Secretariat before, and I've like worked within like a lot of Indian institutions and other, policy making bodies, but I haven't had any sort of formal education there.
I think you
So,
should be able to apply. Yeah, yeah, you should be able to apply.
okay, I'll look more into it. So
Yeah,
thanks for letting me. Have
all
a
the
good one.
best. You too.
Yep. Siddhant.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Manzar. Thank you very much for taking out the time, and thank you, Asba, for organizing this. Just a brief about my background. So, I primarily come from a hospitality background and then grew within the field of marketing, specializing in hospitality. Subsequently, I moved to brand consulting and design as a space. And then I saw this wide gap where for hospitality and branding and marketing. And then I started my own startup. So that's a brief about my background. Previously, I have also been shortlisted and interviewed at for the Chevening Scholarship. primarily my issue that is arising is I want to pursue a degree in marketing, but every MSc marketing program in the UK requires people for that have 2 to 3 years of experience. So which is why whenever I've met these college representatives who come down from Imperial to India, so they consider my profile overqualified for that particular course, and that's why I'm not fitting into that criteria. How would you suggest and navigate a situation like this?
And have you tried applying directly to the universities and did they get back to you on this?
Yes. So I've applied to the universities directly, two of them, for matter of fact, LSE and Imperial, and both of them had the similar feedback that our course within the marketing and communications field is specifically for like fresh graduates or people who are looking at pivoting into the industry and not someone with as rich a work experience as yours. So that is where it kind of really backfires on me that, okay, if not marketing and communication, should I consider an allied industry like something like consumer psychology or something and then pursue that, because there it won't be a direct correlation basis my historic
Yeah,
experience.
most likely, if the universities themselves telling that it's for fresh graduates, I will not advise, because then it will be a waste of your talent and your knowledge.
Mm.
Rather look for courses that might be slightly different but aligns indirectly with what you wish to do. That would be better that way, because I realized quite a few courses in the UK, they're just for fresh graduates, and then after a few months you realize that you made a mistake. So yeah, go ahead with the second option actually.
Okay, and anything that comes in your head basis the interactions you have had with people around you in
This
fields
is
related.
it's completely I would say an alien sector for me.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
no
Yeah.
worries. But thank you very much. And my last question to you would be on application fee waivers to universities. Do you feel universities give it easily if you write to them, or how does one navigate the entire process? Because applying to 3 universities becomes expensive.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm not wrong, LSE has a waiver, so you can fill a form.
Mm.
Most, except universities like Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial, UCL, they, but you can always make a case. You can always try.
Okay.
There are existing universities like SOAS, IDS, Sussex. I'm not sure King's does that, but they do give waivers. So maybe you can approach them. There's no harm in asking. Build your case. Try. Be persistent. And if after multiple emails they don't agree, then you go ahead and pay. So don't pay immediately.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
All the
Thank
best.
you, Adba.
Aisha, very quickly, if you can go ahead.
Hello. So I'm actually pursuing my graduation right now. I'm currently in my 4th year. I'm pursuing engineering, and I wanted to apply to colleges abroad. Like I don't have any specification as such. And I for my masters, and I want to continue with my domain of engineering. I wanted to ask you if you have any suggestions of you can apply to this country or that country or stuff like that. It's a generic question, but
I know. This country, that country is difficult. It's a big decision.
yeah, in
Um,
terms of like work experience in the post visa, no,
Um, well,
that
UK has been terrible lately. There is a strong movement going on how to even curb legal migration. Okay, so post-study visa, post-study job opportunities are getting more and more difficult in the UK. Germany, Netherlands, they are growing. Australia is amazing at this point of time. But yeah, if you don't want to go to the US, understandable. You can look at Europe, specifically Germany, Netherlands, Belgium is also nice. But Australia has a lot of funding that way. So maybe I would recommend that as well. This is my understanding of post visa situation, or the current immigration situation in the world.
thank you.